I recently watched a brilliant interview with the poet Ocean Vuong, where he observed that most of human history is actually filled with static lives, people stuck in coal mines, stuck in towns they couldn't escape, or trapped in marriages they never wanted. He went on to drop a line that brought me to a complete standstill. To be an American is to be trapped in a free country. Ocean Vuong Vuong wasn't descending into cheap cynicism. As a poet, he looked at the existential cage and compared it to a sonnet. A sonnet is a strict, unyielding cage of exactly 14 lines. Yet, inside that rigid boundary, historical masters discovered a clever structural mechanism on the 10th or 12th line, the Volta. The Volta is the turn. It is the sudden twist where the argument shifts, a realization occurs, and a flash of profound innovation illuminates the entire cage. This is the same answer to why we study psychic tools. We do not practice clairvoyance to escape the 14 lines of human reality. We practice it to locate our own internal Volta. The architecture of the static. Most sensitives and empaths spend their entire lives trying to rearrange the bars of the cage. In our training, we look at this through the lens of the three worlds. The static life Vuong describes is what happens when you are entirely consumed by the Mitwelt, the relational world of social maneuvering, family obligations, and collective survival. You adapt, you read the room, and you subtly distort your own vibration to keep the peace, or temporarily get what you desire and ease your suffering. As George Gurdjieff famously warned, we waste an immense amount of our energetic capacity trying to maintain a false persona of perfect, unyielding consistency just to satisfy external expectations. We perform the role the cage demands, even when our interior reality has completely moved on. When your space is 90% full of this inherited, static Mitwelt energy, your life code defaults to autopilot. You become what Irving Layton called a socialized article, a predictable, well-behaved commodity who has handed their direct perception over to the crowd. Psychic development is the quiet, subversive refusal to let that happen. Locating your internal turn-learning clairvoyance is the process of intentional self-remembering. It is the reclamation of the Eigenwelt, your own world perspective. When you clear the center of your head, the sixth chakra, you are no longer looking at your life through a kaleidoscope of your mother's worries, your culture's panics, or historical conditioning. You stop reacting mechanically to the walls around you. The moment you sit in your spiritual seniority, drop into your body, and actively use a tool like blowing roses, you are executing a spiritual Volta. You aren't changing the external facts of the physical world overnight. You are changing who is looking at them and how. That is how this work revolutionizes your existence. It moves you from a state of mechanical reaction, static, into a state of living poetry, dynamic. You realize that even inside the constraints of one's human life, conscious awareness can remain entirely self-referencing, luminous, and free. Weekly practitioner exchange, spotting the cage and triggering the Volta pair. Up with a reading partner this week to explore where mechanical, static energy is overriding personal innovation. The blueprint of the cage. Look at the readee's sixth chakra. What inherited static picture is currently acting as their 14-line restriction? Is it an ancestral belief about suffering, a corporate demand, or a relationship dynamic they feel stuck in? Locating the Volta. Ask the readee to mock up the energetic frequency of self-remembering, their own unique affinity to their present-time perspective. Where is the turn trying to happen in their space? What color is it? Healing focus. Give a healing on the line of separation between the readee's space and the collective environment. Help them blow the pictures of false obligation, restoring the pristine sanctuary of their own center. One small step, the 14-line pause. The next time you find yourself feeling trapped, overwhelmed, or stuck in a reactive loop during your day, acknowledge the constraint. Give yourself permission to pause for exactly 60 seconds. Locate the bars. Notice the external pressure, the email, the family demand, the social anxiety. Mentally say, that is the cage. Execute the Volta. Shift your attention completely away from the problem and pull your awareness back to the center of your head. Breathe into that tiny, quiet room where you are the only occupant. Notice how the internal physics change. The situation hasn't vanished, but your alignment has shifted. You have found the turn. Journaling prompts for deep integration, the static audit. Where in your current life are you playing a role or maintaining a false consistency just to look good to others, even though your spirit has completely checked out? The socialized soul. If you were to completely drop the unedited, uncensored slogans of what you're supposed to be doing, what does your direct intuition actually say about your current path? Writing the verse. Ocean Vuong asks, if we are in the cage, is it worth singing? What kind of energetic song changes your internal state from heavy endurance to the radical joy of simply being? From insight to integration. A blog post can spark a revelation, but a practice builds a life. Information without practical application is just nice ideas and doesn't create meaningful growth and change. If the concepts of energetic anatomy, self-remembering, and dynamic boundaries resonate with you, let's take them off the screen and into your daily routine. Join a study group to access the complete library of tools, meditations, and techniques designed to help you run your own energy with absolute precision. Click here to learn more about upcoming study groups. For over 25 years, I have been driven by a single, uncompromising objective: to strip the illusion out of the unseen world and hand total energetic autonomy back to the individual. My work, both in high-fidelity private sessions and study groups, is to help build your own psychic capacity to interface with your lived experience cleanly, autonomously, and without dogma, using your inherent spiritual and intuitive gifts. Book a session.